Think about how people hook up today. Not getting any younger, lonely. Wow, he likes me. Wow, she's really hot. Well, I'd love to have some kids. I think he'll do. Kind of like his chin. There's some weird stuff going on. And then there's I love you. Do you love me? And what your dead giveaway is, you don't love, you need. None of that was from the beginning. I tell people, I say, look, if there's a woman in a man's life scripturally, from the beginning, it ought to be because of the fullness of God in the man. Not because she's hot. Not because he's lonely or she's lonely or insecure or honored that he wants her. If there's a woman in a man's life according to Genesis, it's because there was fullness in the man. I think only in that place could he love her like Christ loves the church. I think men only in that place were ready to love her like Christ loves the church. I guess if we don't have that place, maybe we just need her because she gives us something we need. Don't sell cheap, women. You're more than cooking meals and scratching itches. Don't be reduced. Don't compromise. I had a young lady tell me one time, well, there's no man out there you're describing. The one you're describing isn't out there. And she was frustrated. She kept slipping. She was young. She just slept with a boy and came to me crying. She just slept with a boy and she knew it wasn't her answer. And she went to bed defiled in her bed at night and cried. And she woke up and felt far from the Lord and felt dirty and felt all kinds of things because of her convictions. But yet she was driven by this needy thing. She came to me crying. She said, I know what you're going to tell me, Pastor. And she snapped on me. She said, you're going to tell me about this man? And she described the man that I've described to her a dozen times. And she said, the thing you have to realize, he is not out there. That man you're describing is not out there. And I'm like, so I just gently reached across the picnic table and I squeezed her elbow. And as she was freaking out, I kept squeezing a little tighter and tighter. And she realized I was squeezing tight. And she just stopped and got her attention. I leaned in with the most gentle voice, but full of passion. I said, so what? Because he's not out there, you compromise, you sell cheap, you defile your conscience and wake up ashamed over and over? Or do you position yourself to be a prize to be won and make a draw on Christ in a man? Or do you just keep selling cheap and get on the half-off rack? Ooh, a little uncomfortable in here. I feel it. No, I feel it. It's nervous. I can feel the atmospheres. People are nervous. So what do? Compromise truth to meet need? Or get fulfilled in him so your needs change? What do? Because you can't find somebody in love with Jesus, you just find somebody that's kind of in love with Jesus? And pay a price for that? Or do you stand your ground and be complete and secure in him and never enter into a relationship because you're needy? You enter into a relationship because you're fulfilled. What would that look like if a man knows who he is and he joins with a woman who knows who she is and they're not driven by need and they're both in love with the King? I bet that sounds like the beginning. What would that conception look like? What would that baby be?